I do need to turn off my sounds on my phone here. No, that's not it. There we go. All right, so we're going to start in standing. Just feet hip width apart. Or if you prefer, that's Samasthiti. Feet together is Tadasana. Or I could have that turned around. At any rate, good posture. So press your feet firmly down into the mat, down into the ground. As you press down in your feet consciously, that causes you to lift in your crown all the way up through your body. So just take notice right now of where your shoulders are at. If you like, you can turn sideways and look at your screen and see if there's any hunching, you know, like rounding your upper back. And upper back, I mean like bra line and up. Okay, so just check that out. Also, when you do check that out, if you are hunching forward, that is going to send your hips out of alignment and it'll cause you to jut your chin and your nose forward. So, and this tilts up. So it's really not conducive to empowerment because it closes down your solar plexus. So just turn your palms forward. Again, ground in to the earth. Press down consciously and lift. We're not going to change our shoulders right now. We'll get into that after we work with our centering. Just let go of the day for now. Picture something beautiful, a place that's beautiful, sacred space that's yours and yours alone. Nobody else can come into this sacred space without your permission. See the beauty in this space. Create it. Bring your attention to your breathing. Follow it in and out. Continue to press your feet into the earth. Bring your attention to your feelings. Are you in any kind of reaction to the day? Just picture yourself in your sacred space, your beautiful and sacred space. Then notice your nervous system. If you're feeling jangled or overstimulated or under inspired, which can also happen. Interesting contrast, overstimulated and under inspired. And then notice your body, the sensations around your body, and you can make some micro moves. Check to see if you have any tight spots or pain. Just make a mental note. And then bring your palms into prayer hands. We're going to chant Om 3 times. So start with your deep breath. Last time. And we'll breathe to attune to the breath. We'll breathe and move to the breath. So inhale, arms overhead. A long, luxurious exhale, lowering. And 2 more times. And then just bring your palms back into prayer hands. Anjali Mudra. Bring your attention once again to the soles of your feet. You can open your eyes and just rock to the balls and the heels. Just rocking. You can lift your heels and the balls of your feet. Now come into center between the balls and heels of your feet. And then shift the weight from one foot to the other. That'll cause a slight swaying. And then bring your body into center with the weight equally distributed in the soles of your feet. And that's your center. So just release your arms and lower your chin down to your chest. Let your head hang for a moment. And then lift your chin. Extend your chin up. You're arching your neck, but you're not grinding. You're lengthening in your cervical spine. Bring your chin back down to your chest. Inhale, lift your chin. Come back to center. Reach up through your crown with a deep breath. Exhale, take your left ear over to your left shoulder. Nose pointing forward, shoulders and hips forward. And breathe up to center. Exhale to the other side. Notice any sensation of pain or tension. And again, breathe to center. Exhale to your left. Breathe to center. Reach. Exhale to your right. And then start to circle your head around. And release. Come back to center. Now we want to address the shoulders, and there's a few things we're going to do with that. So we're going to skip that for now and come down just into a standing twist. So we're still circling and twisting in the spine. But we're going to be working with computer shoulders since so many people are experiencing computer shoulders. Okay, bring your feet back in. Knees will come into chair pose. We're going to come in and out a few times. So breathe your arms up, parallel to the floor. Exhale, bend your knees over your center line of your feet. Push back up. Lower your arms. Breathe it up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Lower your arms. Breathe. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. All right. This time, breathe it up. Exhale. I'm going to turn sideways for this part. So reach your hips back, bend your knees more deeply, and reach your fingertips forward. We've done this before, it's on video, but just working with chair pose, a different version. All right, now bring your back straight. Your hips are aligned over your heels. Focus forward, focus on a spot, and then lift your heels. It's a little more difficult when you're dizzy. And then let your heels down. Press down on your feet, inhale, and exhale, arms down. Okay, so just a little bit more heating. We're going to bring one knee into the chest and then the other. This will stretch the lower back. You don't have to stand on one leg, but for a moment. Okay, so from here, we're going to lift the knee up and out to the side. Up, out to the side. Just a little opening, loosening. Once more, each leg. Good. So just a little bit more for the ankles. So rounding, circling around in your ankles in reverse. And change feet. And reverse. And just lift one heel and then the other. A little march. Okay. Now, just a reminder, I know you know this. People later on watching the video may or may not know this, but we want to go over it just as a reminder. So with your shoulders, just find, with either hand, find the low point of your scapula, your shoulder blade. So there it is on that side, there it is on that side. See if you can find them with your thumbs. And then pinch your fingers like there's a string tied to the low spot of your shoulder blade, and imagine pulling those strings down and letting that lift. You're pulling your shoulder blades down and back, and that's lifting your chest and heart, especially your sternum. So now I want you to intentionally for a moment come into poor posture where your shoulders are rounded forward, your nose is jutted forward, your chin is jutted forward, your hips are out of alignment, your belly is hanging out, and it's hard to breathe. The back gets rounded, especially in the upper back here when you're sitting at the computer. So the way to alleviate that or to assist yourself is to stand tall, at least for now. I'm going to show you in a chair in a moment. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Let that open your chest and heart. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Take them back and pull them down. Now, this is not military stance where you're pulling back and squeezing. You're just lifting up, pressing back, and pulling down. Down in the back, your shoulder blades and back. Lifting your heart. All right. So I know some of you especially, and I've been there, done that. I'm going to get a chair here. Some of you are on the computer for a long period of time. So how do you sit? You're probably looking at the screen most of the time. You may be typing, but are you letting that upper back round and your chin and your nose jut forward? Are you coming over onto one hand, or, you know, just notice what you're doing at the time you're on the computer. Just an awareness, okay? Not to take away from attention to your project that you're looking at, but if you bring your hips a little bit more forward, instead of sitting back in a chair, lift with a straight spine, pull your shoulder blades down your back. That's going to open your heart. It's going to open your solar plexus too, your power center. And it's going to open your breathing, which is going to get more breath to the brain. So you'll have more to work with as you're thinking and communicating in your computer work. If you can sit like that, focus on that, or just be aware of it and practice sitting that way when you're at the computer. it's going to go a long way to assist you. And you can also take a moment when you're on the computer to round your back and arch your back. So we're going to do some standing cat poses. I'll turn sideways just for people that aren't as familiar as you are. So just bring your hands on top of your knees, over top of your knees on your thighs. Okay, straight. Start with a neutral spine, straight spine. So tailbone to crown. Take in a breath. Exhale, pull your navel towards your spine and round your back, starting at the tailbone. You start bottom and roll up, bringing your chin onto your chest. That's your exhale. Then inhale, tilt your hips away, tailbone towards the wall behind you. Open the chest, the solar plexus, lift your chin. This is your inhale. So exhale, round it, contract in the abdomen. Inhale, release the abdomen. Arch. So this is the arching cat. Exhale into rounded cat. And repeat a few more of these, working through each vertebra. Exhale. Inhale, nice deep breath. See if you can increase your arch and your rounded spine. All right, and then come back into neutral spine and just look behind you, pulling away from that one hip. Then inhale to center. Exhale, look around behind you. Inhale to center once more each side. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale. And back. Okay. So this next one is particularly therapeutic for computer shoulders. So you want your mat, the short end at the wall. Okay. Lie on your mat with your feet towards the wall. Place the balls of your feet and your toes on the wall, probably just above the mop board or whatever you call that trim. And then lower down, arms are at your sides, knees are bent. Just rest for a moment, take in a couple nice deep breaths. Feel your spine on the floor. Now, notice if your back is arching up off the floor. Some people have more of a natural curve in their spine than others, but just notice where yours is. Does your hand fit under there, or is it touching? Oftentimes, if the back is not flowing along the floor, there's some tension that has accumulated in there and it needs to be released. So one way we can do that is to press your feet against the wall Lift your chin up. Come up one vertebra at a time. Activate your core muscles, your abdomen and your low abdomen, and lift and reach. Just go as far as you can. If you can get all the way up to your knees, that's fine. Once you get to your highest point, wherever that is, and there's certainly no judgment, just lower back down, but tilt your hips under, activate your core. You're contracting in your abdomen, and roll down one piece at a time, one vertebra. Lower your arms. Rest for a moment. All right, now we'll go again. Start with a deep breath. Exhale, lift your chin up onto your chest. Start to roll up. You'll feel your upper back lift. Lift your arms. Press your back down into the mat and roll up wherever you're able to roll. Taking another breath. Exhale and gently lower down one piece at a time, especially your sacrum area, your low back. Stretch it long. Reach. And then rest just a couple of breaths here. And we're going to repeat this 3 more times, just slowly and with deep mindfulness, moving with your breath. So start with your inhale. As you start your exhale, bring your chin onto your chest. You can lift your arms as you start to roll up. Press your feet against the wall. See how that helps you or not. Lift up. You can even touch the wall if you want. Take in another breath. Contract the abdomen. Really curl. Touch one little piece. Long. Especially at that curve. And then again, the curve in your upper back. Rest. And then 2 more times at your own pace, but just take it slowly, okay? Keep your shoulder blades drawn down your back. So there's 2 things happening here in particular. One is you're strengthening your core. The other is you're stretching your spine, elongating all those spiner erectus, erector spinae muscles, which when we when we round too much, like at the computer, it makes them too stretched. This is mindfulness as you move. Keep your core activated all the way up. Take in your breath, contract, and roll it down. And rest. Now, while we're here, just bring your feet in a little closer to your hips. Take your arms out to the side, palms down. Just lift your right knee up and over, cross your leg, take in a breath, and come into knee down twist over to your left. Keep your shoulders down. Let your knees go over. Twisting is going to wring out tension. Your head goes opposite your knees. Now, once you have your knees down, see if you can inch your knees up towards your left hand and feel how that increases the twist. It's delicious. And relax as you hold your knee down twist. Now press down on your feet. Roll your low back onto the floor again. And then switch legs. Take in your breath. Exhale and take your knees over to your right, head left, opposite your knees. Notice the amount of twist. Even though the area that gets rounded and humped on the computer, the twist still helps to stretch those erector spinae muscles. All right, now inch your knees up towards your right arm. See if you can get them up under your arm. And knees down, relaxing towards the floor. And then lift your knees, press down on your feet, roll your hips and low back onto the mat once again. Now I think yes, if your floors or your carpet is not too slippery, bring your hips a little closer to the wall and just place your feet on the wall. Hip width apart, arms at your sides, and then press your feet against the wall and lift. Press down on your arms and shoulders. Bring your chin towards your chest and lift your hips up and then roll back down like a bridge pose. Inhale and roll up. Lift your hips high. Your chest will come up to your chin. And then roll back down. It's a nice massage for your muscles along your spine. And now let your feet come back down onto the floor and adjust away from the wall so that you can actually come into Setu Bandhasana, half bridge, and then we'll come into full bridge, and I'll show you how this will help your shoulders. So arms at your sides, palms down, feet hip width apart, toes forward, breathe, and exhale. Lift your hips. Isn't it easier when you're not using the wall? So making a straight line from knees to your chin. Do not let your knees splay out to the side. Keep them in line with your hip bones and your ankles. And roll down. Inhale. Exhale and lift. Now, I think we're warmed up enough in the spine to come into a full bridge, Setu Bandhasana. So interlace your fingers underneath your hips. Roll your body side to side. Bring your elbows in closer. Feel what this does to your shoulders. Press down in your feet and lift your hips as high as you can. Press down with your arms and your feet. Knees in alignment. Breathe. Lift. And then release your shoulders out. Release your hands and roll down. And bring your knees into your chest. And roll side to side. Okay, now I think we have enough time for a restorative pose. This is called legs up against the wall. So bring your hips in close to the wall, coming sideways. So it's the side of your hip coming to the wall. Knees are bent. Lower down a little bit, bend your elbows, lean away from the wall, and lift your legs up. Now you don't have to be touching the wall with your hips, but you do want to be fairly close. Okay. Arms wherever you want them. It's nice to have them out to the side, palms up, receptive to relaxation. Or some people like to place them on their chest, sending energy into their chakras. Just reversing the flow of energy. Restorative. So breathe some full, deep, calming breaths. And if your arms want to be higher, let your elbows bend and let your shoulders relax down against the floor. Feel how your shoulder blades come down your back. And if you'd like a passive stretch, excuse me, for your legs, separate your legs out to the side. If you have room in your home, and just let your legs relax out to where they want to be. There we go. You can bend your knees and then straighten and point your toes. Bend. Feel how that opens your hips. Straighten. Point your toes. One more. Bend your knees. Breathe. Exhale, straighten, and let them relax, open. Now to come out, slide your heels towards each other. Bend your knees and pull them in towards your chest. Roll to one side. Press your palms onto the floor. Now I'd like to get at least a little bit of cobra in, because that's also going to reverse the direction of that rounded back when you're sitting at the computer or in any chair. It doesn't even have to be at the computer. So just come up. Let's come into a plank briefly. Press through your heels. Let your knees down onto the floor. Hang in traction for a few breaths. Keep pulling away from your tailbone. Lift. You can also lift your shoulders up, back, and down, bringing the shoulder blades down to open the chest. This will stretch those pectoral muscles. All right, so bring your legs together, tops of the feet on the floor, bend your elbows, bringing the pubic triangle down onto the mat. Lift into your cobra. Press down in your hips. So that'll cause you to take a little contraction in your glutes. And then press up and back into child's pose. Stretching it all out after arching your back. Bring your arms next to your legs, thumbs by your ankles, turn your palms up, forehead on the floor, unless it's just too uncomfortable. Otherwise, you can overlap your arms and rest your forehead on your arms, or a towel or blanket, whatever works for you in this moment. Soften your elbows so your shoulders can relax. Now press down on your legs and feet. Lift your torso up slowly, coming up. Sit on your heels, interlace your fingers behind your back, and one more stretch. Bring your shoulder blades down your back, stretch your arms away, lift your chin, open the front of your body. Come back to center. Release your hands. Just bring your left hand over onto your right leg. Right hand behind you. Look over your shoulder. Come into a gentle twist. And other side. Breathe. Exhale. and back, facing front. And then if you want to move your mat from where you are, that's fine. Just get comfortable for Shavasana. Ready to relax. Boy, the time goes so quickly, doesn't it? Now, I'm going to suggest as you relax in Shavasana that you take your arms out a little further from your body, bend your elbows, and let them come a little bit forward. Bring your shoulder blades down your back as you relax down, so that you relax with your back open, your heart center open, letting go. Coming back to that beautiful sacred space image, whether it's a crystal cave or a mountain range with a serene lake or the forest, or whatever represents beauty and sacred energy to you. Take yourself there now, and I'll be quiet for a few minutes so you can completely relax. Let go a little more. And now bring your awareness back. Notice the openness of your heart, your shoulders, your solar plexus. Feel your back streaming along the floor like a river. Excuse me, sorry. Feel the peacefulness that you've accessed from within you. And look to maintain that connection as you bring your awareness back to the physical realm. Moving fingers, toes. If you like, take your head side to side. And then slide your feet together and lift your knees to your chest. And roll to one side and press up into sitting. Hands in mudra, whatever your favorite mudra is. It can be index finger and thumb or second finger and thumb. Sealing in the benefits of your practice today. And then bring palms into prayer hands. I wish you a strong back and an open heart and strength in your core. Namaste. And before you go, there's just a couple things. One is when you're working on the computer for long hours, you want to consider what the ergonomics is, where your computer is in relation to your eyes and your head. Figure out what is right for you or what is supposed to be ergonomically correct. The other thing is what happens when you are feeling ill. Yesterday or Monday, I ate something that was bad and it made me sick, dizzy, very dizzy. And after we had class, then the vomiting began. And I was able to go to work for a few hours the next morning, but then I needed to leave. And I rested the rest of the day. And then I was still dizzy this morning, but I went in. I was still dizzy tonight, but after yoga, even though I was feeling ill Monday, even though I was still dizzy today, the yoga speeds the healing. And I'm not dizzy at all now. So it was a bit of a restorative class practice, but regardless, the breathing, the connection, all of it, it really helps. So don't be afraid to pursue, even if you're, it depends on how ill you are, but you have to determine what's right for you under the circumstances. But I just wanted you to know that it's gone. So I wish you all good health, vibrant health, and great strength. Thank you for being here.